forgot to chew one and it went straight down my throat.
Oh.
How's Keon doing? I heard about his accident.
Oh, we just finished talking to him. His back just hurts, so. So, yeah. Now, oh, you ain't finished yet?
These are not hot at all. At all.
Anything was spicy to us.
Hot. Like, not at all.
Yeah, a little bit too much.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Conversation. What call it? Green couch? What we call it before? With the green couch?
The green couch.
Green couch conversations. We just shooting the breeze. Shoot the breeze. Here, be careful with friends, never catch by faith, and stage.
Potato chips.
It's okay. But anyway, about last night, I was talking to Debbie and who we had on last night about the difference into children today and children today.
Oh, no, that way, but we can see. They can
Children,
see you, they can't see you in your thing.
you need to move your head.
No, it's not that. I still can't see you.
Wait a minute. Hey, retirement.
Okay, now go ahead.
We was talking about children today. Please thumbs up this live. Children today,
Thumbs up.
our time, and the children, what's going on, in this world. Like, I can't understand that they had no respect. I was talking about that last night. How some of these kids, hey Muffy, how somebody said children, they just like
they
curse in front of you. When I was a kid, like I said, I would never do no like that. I was scared somebody might come to my mother's house and tell. My mother used to be crazy.
I have a question for you though.
Ain't true.
What is one big difference between then and now that you see in our neighborhoods? There's a big difference to why that
There
part.
was drugs in my neighborhood.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is,
I'm talking about the neighborhood.
I think the
I'm talking about
community has a
neighborhood.
lot to do with it.
right,
You think what?
The community.
right.
Like back then,
Oh yeah, the parents used to look out for their children,
Right.
other
Yeah.
kids.
yeah,
Definitely.
we don't have.
You
that-
can't
that-
tell these
that
kids
community.
nothing. You,
Right.
What?
First
You can
of
tell
all,
some of these kids
You
nothing.
can't tell their parents nothing. Don't say nothing to my child.
That's right. That's the
So
truth.
it starts like a lot with them.
And I think it's like too, like, because you have kids nowadays, like, remember kids social being back then was being outside and playing amongst each
Yeah,
other, and that's why
exactly.
parents knew other people's kids. And
Right.
What happened? Because they used to go outside, that would make them better?
I
No,
think it's too electronic.
right, it's not that it made them better, it's just it made them more social. So like if your child is outside playing with another person's child, that parent will get to know that child, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that parent will be more inclined to kind of look out for that child, even though that child is not theirs. And then, like, for example, the way that you and mommy met. Y'all met through Anitra and Robin.
Yep.
Right.
Sure did.
So,
That's because they've been raised right.
well, I mean, but yeah, they're raised right, but also, I'm not going to be disrespectful to my friend's mother
Right.
or my friend's father,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to be able to get away with as much as I may if my friend, if the adults in the neighborhood know who I am.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to get away with because they most likely know my parents.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm not going to get away with much now. Like you said,
Exactly.
it's so electronic that,
Mhm.
I mean, nobody, like, if you're not going to school with kids, like, you're not even if you are going to school, a lot of these kids, they just play online with each other. They
That's
don't
true.
go outside, and unless they aren't in school with each other.
Mhm.
And then two, I think that social media has a lot to play with all that stuff because
Yeah.
people don't think that, like, I think I heard somebody ask a question, like, do they think the government runs how neighborhoods and stuff work? They actually do.
Mhm.
Because policies are set, and like you have things like social media. These are where kids are picking up their social cues from,
True.
right? They're not. It's not. And then you still got like one parent homes and like
Mhm.
you know, like you said, you have parents that it's like don't tell my kid nothing, so your kid
Yeah.
can just run willy-nilly being all bad and disrespectful all they
Exactly.
want, and you're backing them up because
Right. That's
So-
what they want.
you know.
That's true, because most be like, I don't care, you tell my mama. Where back in our day, like, please don't tell my mama.
Right.
You know?
You probably get
Used to
your ass
beg-
whooped.
Used to beg, don't tell my mama.
Uh-huh.
What? And they used to go tell your mama anyway.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Sure
Sure
did.
did.
You got your ass kicked too.
And you probably got to pick him twice because your mother probably like, yeah, whoop his ass, and then he comes home and whoop his ass too.
Exactly. Exactly.
So-
Sure did. Yep, it's just, it's no community unity no more. You know, every man for themselves, the kids buck wild. That's why they ain't got no respect for nothing.
You need to talk a little louder there.
Huh? I am talking loud. My voice carries.
Oh, you're in the kitchen, Captain.
You know, so and their social skills suck, and they're not creative. We were creative because we didn't have that much, number one.
Okay, now.
So we made something out of nothing, number two.
Okay.
Now,
You
let's,
know.
let's get a little deeper. Let's get a little deeper. Now, there's some
Go a little
adults who have children,
Uh-huh.
like from our time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say in other words, the children that we have, the
Uh-huh.
children that we have, how they raise their kids. Like I see, they are so lenient.
So with the parents these days?
Yeah, they'll chastise them like
Like
they think that we,
yeah.
like we was wicked. Nobody
Like,
wasn't
we were
wicked.
too strict, yeah.
Nobody was wicked. Like some of them believe what is it? You sit down, you're on punishment. All that talking. I ain't doing all that damn talking.
Well-
Sit down. And I gotta say sit down 20 times when you get it. How about
But you know, okay, so I think the difference in the way that, because I feel like we are a little bit like that, right? Like I'm very like, I'm like a little no nonsense.
Uh-huh.
But the difference, honestly speaking, is that, and it's funny because like, I know parents who still kind of like raise their kids that way.
Yeah.
I say like with an iron fist, where it's like you do what I say and you say that's it, and I don't want to hear nothing. And I think the difference between y'all's generation and some people in my generation is, like for me purposely, I see my kids like, I look at my kids as like young people that are growing into something else. Like they're not just children. They're not gonna always just be small or whatever the case
Right.
is. So
Yeah.
I don't have this idea of like you're the child. You just do what I say. No, like you're a human. I mean, depending on your age and how you can make decisions for yourself, yes, I'm
Right.
gonna regulate the way I need to. But as you're getting older, I'm gonna give you the power to make decisions for yourself. And I think that when you are deliberate in doing that, you get a different respect from your kids. I'm just using my own. Like
Yeah, I
I'm using
mean,
my
you
daughter.
let them speak their mind to a certain point.
Certain extent.
I let them express themselves to a certain point and express themselves, you know, because you want to know what's going on in their world, because they don't see the world as you do,
Right.
you know. So I let them express themselves to a certain point,
But
respectfully.
right. But I think
That's the
too,
thing.
because I think I'm thinking about my own kids. And the difference, and I mean, this could be because they don't live with me. I mean, this is a little other factors there, but looking at my kids, like my kids come to me with their stuff. I don't have to ask them any questions because they come to me with all their stuff. But that's because, and they say to me all the time, it's because like you're understanding.
Right.
Now that could be because, like I said, I don't live with them.
And that's probably it, because the main parent that they that's raising them, of course they're gonna be more harder and they're gonna look at them more different. Oh, she got an iron fist, we going over there to dad's house, he's more lenient, he understands us. Because when you're not in that 2-parent household, of course it's gonna be the main person that's taking kids. They're gonna go through the most with the kids.
Makes sense.
So their perspective is gonna be different. So when they come to you, laid back, listen to what they got to say, this, that, and other, your perception is going to be different because you're dealing with them in a different way because they don't live with you. So I understand that. So like good cop, bad cop.
I mean, not on purpose. I think I understand.
Right.
Like I tell my daughter all the time, like when you're with somebody like 24/7, obviously like you love them, but like you see every aspect of them. So you're gonna get the things that you find annoying is probably going to be more on the forefront of your mind as opposed to all the
Right.
other stuff. So yes, I understand that, but then looking at like having conversations with certain parents
Uh-huh.
and listening to them, now I understand what you're saying, but I still think that even though the dynamic is that you live with them, and so you probably got to be the more strict one at times, to have an attitude of like you're the child, you just do what I say,
Oh no,
and,
you,
like
you
that
can't
doesn't
be like
work.
that. No,
It's never gonna work.
no. You have to let them express themselves so they can see what they're going, how they feel inside too. Because a lot of them suppressed because I feel like I can't talk to my mom because she goes too hard on me.
Right.
So you can't go too hard. They you want to see what's going on in their head.
Right. Of course, you can't get upset at them when they don't. If you never carved out a space for them to be that way, where they feel comfortable speaking to you. That's why I think it would be nice. We didn't. I mean, I don't know if we ever did it in our neighborhoods, but being able to like sit at a dinner table and talk at dinner time, as opposed
Well,
to.
I used to do that when me, Rose, and my granddaughter we was all living together. But I always say, okay, family hour.
Okay.
And they always say, well, what's going on? What we gonna talk about now? That's one thing I always had was family hour. When we say family hour, somebody needs to talk about something. She'll do it. Even my granddaughter, we allow her to do it. Family hour. Okay, what's on your mind?
Right.
So I think you have to leave that space of communication open freely for them to like talk and express themselves.
And it should be a staple to me.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't just be like you said. You say family hour. The person they think is like, oh God, what we gonna talk about? It's like no, this is just a time for us to like. We
Yeah,
can
but
talk about
that's
our
what I
day.
mean. We just talk about anything.
Right.
They just don't know like what's going to be said.
Right. Right.
So we do like a family hour. Good, better, and different. That's our code.
And I think that those things have to be cultivated from the beginning. It can't be like you can't. Thank you, Kathy. You can't.
Hey, Josh.
It'd be too hard to like wait until your child is like 12 years old to try to start this routine with them. Because at that point they're like, yo, all I care about is chilling with my friends, and I don't want to be sitting at the table talking about no family hour with you. These things got to be cultivated from the, from the beginning.
Muffy, if Michael say anything about a sex show again, do your thing.
Give me more juice. What, is anybody typing in any of their own opinions on the stuff?
I gotta take a look.
This young man his name is
We call him Stage.
Stage.
That's Silk.
Oh, Silk.
No, not Silk.
Oh, I said Stage.
No, I changed as a Stage. Like, me and his mother are the best of friends.
Hello, everybody.
So that's my nephew.
Hello.
That's my nephew.
Be free to as we conversate, I'm be looking at your comments.
Thank you.
Be free. Feel free to comment anything that y'all want to,
'Cause he's
and we'll
too weird, man.
talk about that too.
No.
Somebody else?
Somebody else on my thing. You want a table?
I'm fine with it. I have a question. Yeah. From people in the audience, or people online, like, do they wish that the way that their family was cultivated or the way that they were raised was different? And if they had families of their own, did they purposely try to do things differently? Right? Like I remember when I was first getting married, I kept saying, like, I remember when we was going to marriage counseling before we got married, and they kept saying, like, what do you want your marriage to look like? And I was like the Cosby Show, basically. Like I want blah, blah, and then my person was different. She's like, we ain't nobody gonna be no Cosby Show. But in my mind, it's like, yo, I want to like, I don't want to like bring in the same sort of like things that was brought into my family as a kid. You know what I mean? I want to raise my kids in a certain way, and I want to again give them the opportunity to speak and
Well, kind of like, you want to be a better parent than your parent was.
Sure, I don't like to say it like that, but just
no, it's true. I want my daughter to be what you feel that I did wrong or something like that. You make sure you do it right with yours.
The question is anybody out there ever look at how they were raised and feel like, I wish I was raised differently, and when they had.
Do anybody out there feel like they should have been raised differently from?
Do anybody here feel like they should be raised differently, or you just
or
your mom did a good job?
I should have been raised differently.
Me
So
too.
my mom was crazy.
Yeah, my mama was nuts.
So it is what it is.
My mother burned down a whole block.
You know, we had to deal with mental illness,
Oh.
you know. So
Facts is a fact.
yes.
Well,
So
I
I
mean-
wanted to be a better parent than my parent was.
Okay.
So I want my daughter to be a better parent than I was, and I want her daughter to be a better parent than she is.
How old is Miss Cole's daughter?
Who? My daughter? My
Yeah.
granddaughter?
Yeah.
15. Just turned 15.
Well, I mean, so in that case, and I, you know, I always look at it like, to some degree, you have to give those who raised us
Mm-hmm.
a level of grace as they got to give those who raised
True.
them, because you really don't know where the problem started.
Right. That's what I always say. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, it was always something triggered down before we
Right.
got here. You know. So happy
We
they
took
had.
it from your
So happy they had kids.
from your parent.
Yeah.
And then from their parent,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody just didn't recognize to break the whatever
The
cycle.
cycle.
That's number one, and then number
Mhm.
two. And you know, and when I was growing up in the '80s and all this other stuff, you started having the government come into families and purposely doing
Yeah.
things to keep the families broken apart, and
Right.
Yeah.
you know. But that's the reason why.
That was racism.
Right.
Definitely was that.
And if you had a man, you couldn't have too much of nothing. Like y'all watch Claudine. That's why I like Claudine. It's true. It's true to life.
About Claudine.
You know, when it comes down to
But let me tell you, honey.
us. True story.
I remember when they stopped sending them people to the welfare ladies to the
To the house?